Aloha. It's your favorite friend with questionable character, Aloha Mr. Hand, with something new and different. I just went out and I'm in the process of creating my own YouTube channel. God, that's scary. The Aloha Mr. Hand channel. So most of the content will be about the White Sox, obviously, and random musings, things of that nature. But wanted to give it a test run, going through something that I did today. First, let me say, of course, this is presented by our friends at From the 108. And of course, Jack Daniels. So, one of the great things in the off season is the Sox Machine guys allow people to enter and provide their own 2020, in this case 2021 plan for the White Sox. And I just completed it today, so I figured to give this my maiden voyage, I'd go through what I had put down as my plan for 2021. So I'm going to follow through. So it's all right here. I did submit it too, so hopefully they'll post it in the next day or two. But I did submit it, and I'm going to read through what I have. I printed out what I submitted, so I'm going to read through what I have and explain a little bit of why I selected what I did. Okay, and I'm going to give you in order that they provide the template. So the preamble, and what I said was the time is now. The window, in Rick Hahn's own words in that press conference, is open. Now is the time to strike, and don't be cheap. The conditions this year, as shitty as this year has been, work in the White Sox favor because it's going to be a depressed market for a lot of players. So you can get some on the cheaper end of things. And the other thing I'll say is something that I always say. Now is a time for the White Sox to make their own luck. Not hope for luck, make it. So with that being said, I'm going to start in the process as they go through this. So the first area is the arbitration eligible players. And I will read off each player and I will tell you if I'm going to tender, non-tender, or rework or extend the player. So this is the order it was provided in. So Nomar Mazara, non-tender. Carlos Rodon, non-tender. I was a Rodon fan, but I just think he might be a change of scenery guy or his arm might be shot. I hope not, but I think he just needs a change of scenery. Lucas Giolito, that's a given. And if you can extend him, do it. But I don't see why he would take one in this market with the way it's depressed. But whatever. Ronaldo Lopez, I tender him, and I will get into that in a little bit as to why I tender him, because I know a lot of people don't want him tendered. Evan Marshall, tender. Adam Engel, tender. Jace Fry, tender. And Yomer Sanchez's status in this document was listed as uncertain. And let me say this, the pet needs to fucking go. I don't want him on this team anymore. He is a reminder of the losing last decade. He's got to go. I don't want to see him anymore. Sorry, Ricky Renteria lost me when he allowed Yomer Sanchez to pitch on that Friday night against the Cubs. And it wasn't because it was against the Cubs, but it was because you were trying to get a better seeding in the playoffs and you put that clown in. Yes, you were down 9-0, I believe it was at the time, but still unacceptable. So moving on to the next area, club options. And there's 3 players listed here. First one, Edwin Encarnacion, done, decline, go away. Gio Gonzalez, done, decline, go away. Lurie Garcia, take it. Pick it up. Pick up that option because I like the Swiss Army knife nature of his game, and also you have to worry about Madrigal if he's going to be ready to start the season with the shoulder surgery. So I think you got to take Lurie. Moving on to the impending free agent section. And again, there are 3 names listed here. I'm going to start with the easy one. Jared Dyson, no. Don't even bother to resign him. Now, the other 2 are Alex Colomé and James McCann. McCann, I would like him back, but I just don't see it because I think he's not a spring chicken. He's not a young man. He's older in baseball terms. He wants his payday, and he wants to start every day. And this is the market for him because after Real Muto, there ain't much. He's probably the number 2 catcher on the market after JT Realmuto. So he's going to get his payday. Unfortunately, it will not be with the White Sox. Alex Colomé, I say don't offer. And the reason I say that is because I will get into the more specific reasons in the free agency, but I think there are better options out there than Colomé. So that's why I say that. Okay, moving on. The coaching staff. And this is the first time they've asked us on this. Pick your manager and pitching coach. Well, obviously, the manager's me. Remember, Sox Math winner. Snark Burley loved the shirt. Remember, Sox Math winner. Here, gas money winner. Me. I applied. Hire me. But if they don't hire me, I hope that they hire Bruce Bochy. And then pitching coach, I say Matt Zalewski, but in the last 108 podcast with Josh Nelson on there, he gave a great candidate's name that really makes a lot of sense for what the White Sox need to do, and that is Chris Fetter from the University of Michigan. I don't want to go into all the details now. I suggest you go back and listen to it. It's very fascinating how he laid it out. Now, I know Hinch is the big candidate everybody likes. Oh, it's going to be A.J. Hinch. It's going to be A.J. Hinch. I don't see Jerry signing off on A.J. Hinch or Alex Cora. I just don't see it. Remember, right now, Jerry is the only guy who voted no on Steve Cohen buying the Mets, because there were some issues with Sac Capital, the company that Steve Cohen owned, several years back, and Jerry is voting no because of those. So you think he's going to accept Hinch or Cora with what happened? I just don't see it. I think Hinch would be a very good candidate, but I just don't see it. So Bochy would be the candidate I really like. Recent World Series experience. Handled egos. I mean, he had to deal with Barry Bonds in San Francisco, so I mean that's pretty good right there. I think he would be a great candidate. I know a lot of people, Ken W.O., also like Tony La Russa. I think the relationship aspect of the game has passed Tony by. I just do. I don't think he can handle today's player. I mean, the White Sox campaign is what? Change the game? So what's going to happen if somebody does a bat flip to the White Sox? Tony's going to have someone dusting them? It could get ugly really fast. Tony's a baseball genius. Not denying that one bit. He's an absolute baseball genius. But I just think you need someone more in tune with today's player. Sad, but true. Now, moving on to the free agents. And I have 3. Number one with a bullet, obviously, is Trevor Bauer. Number 2, and this is where I talked about Colomé, is Liam Hendricks. I think he would be a better alternative over Colomé. And then number 3 might be surprising. Jackie Bradley Jr. I am not the biggest Jackie Bradley Jr. fan, but I feel that you need to use the resources, aka money, to address the pitching. I think Bradley Jr. gives you the opportunity to get a Gold Glove outfielder. Put him in right. You can also play him in center on days when you want to give Robert a break. And you can increase your outfield defense dramatically. Imagine a late inning outfield of Engel in left, Robert in center, Bradley in right. Not bad. Not bad at all. My concern is that with Bauer, the White Sox repeat the Machado fiasco. And we get the Kenny Williams, I'm wearing sunglasses to hide the shock in my eyes speech, that kind of crap. I just have that fear. And what I think happens if that comes to truth, to realization, is they go out and get Jose Quintana, which I think would be an absolute disaster. Quintana, to me, is not a good pitcher. I know you could say he had a 4 WAR a couple years ago and all that crap. Have you watched him pitch? This is the guy who will get the first 2 outs in an inning in like 6 or 7 pitches and look dominant. Next thing you know, the inning's over. He's about 25, 26 pitches in and has given up a couple runs. He's the king of the 0-2 walks. What's an 0-2 walk? He gets ahead 0-2 on the batter. Next thing you know, the batter's walking down to first base because he threw 4 straight balls. I don't want to see Quintana. Quintana, Yomer Sanchez, to me, fall into this category. They are relics from the loser past. I don't want associated with this team. This team needs a new slate. Get them out of here. I don't want nothing to do with them. Harsh? Yes. Truthful? Yes. Don't like it? Too bad. All right. Trades is the next section. I don't necessarily know if this would be a trade or a free agent signing. It depends on how things work out. But I think a great candidate to go, a buy low candidate who could help, is Gary Sanchez. I think the Yankees are just about had it with them. I think he is a change of scenery guy. And I think he provides some flexibility. You can DH him, have him catch once in a great while. Yes, the defense isn't the greatest. And he gives you he gives you some offensive punch. Now, I don't think the cost would be that much, either in cash or in players to the Yankees to get him. I think that's how they feel about him. So that was my my one trade, so to speak. So what does that leave the roster with? So I broke it down, and what I have is, so catcher is Grandal, first base Abreu, second base Madrigal, shortstop TA, third base Yoan, left field Eloy, center field La Pantana, right field Jackie Bradley Jr., Lurie Legend, Adam Engel, Gary Sanchez, Zach Collins, and Danny Mendick on the bench, giving you bench strength. The pitching staff, and I'm just going in these in no particular order, so bear with me. Giolito, Bauer, Keuchel, Dunning, Crochet, Lopez, Cease, Kopech, Marshall, Fry, Hoy, Cootie Hoo, to quote my man Beefloaf, Jimmy Guns, and of course Liam Hendricks. So I think this roster allows to press to address the most pressing issues, right field and obviously pitcher being the most pressing issue. But you might say my Q Raylo thing. I keep Raylo because I would rather have Raylo instead of Q. You ask why? Because I think with a new pitching coach coming, there is potential with Raylo. We've seen it. I think maybe a different voice may be able to unlock that potential. Someone else seeing something that wasn't seen before, just wasn't able to be communicated. I think that might be the deciding factor. Plus, he's a cheap alternative. I think Q would cost more, and I think it'd be a waste of money. But that's my plan. Like I said, I'll post more things out here as time goes on. But that's my plan. Hope you like it. If you got any questions, comments, whatever, feel free to let me know. I'm here. Talk to you guys later. Bye.